everybody, this is me, Laura. I am doing this, the full moon in Aquarius that I said I was going to do. It was a pretty busy day today, and I was doing all kinds of stuff, so I want to go ahead and do this video real quick. And so tomorrow we know it is actually, this chart is for tomorrow. So I'm filming this. I'm doing this video here the day before. So yeah. So I would say, well, today I would say it would be the Aquarius full moon. It's going to be at 19 degrees here in Aquarius. And I wanted to go over a little bit of the things on the chart here that shows what is going on. Let me see if I can. Hang on one second here. Let's see. I'm trying to see how. Oh, okay. So that's how it goes. Okay. So, okay. I'm new with this program, so I'm trying to get it familiar here. If you notice here, here 19. Here 19 here, this is where the moon is in Aquarius. So the moon here is making a square to, it looks like Scorpio. Yeah, Scorpio in the south node here. And so is right in the cusp of the 10th house here. And it's also making challenges here with Taurus in the 4th house of real estate. So here in the 4th house, it's showing there's Mars there, there's Uranus, and then there's the North Node. And so it's making a challenge here with the full moon. So there's something going on here with real estate, ancestors. It is roots, lineage, your body. It would also be like the self, your body, how you take care of your body. And so there's something that you have to release here with the first house in at 19 degrees. 19 degrees is a Libra degree, so it is a degree of justice. So there's something of you having to release. Only you would know what it is you got to release. It's good to know your chart, because if you know your chart, you would know what you have to release, right? You would look at Aquarius, where you have Aquarius, and it would tell you, for instance, for me, for an example, I have Aquarius in the 10th house, right? And I have it in Jupiter, and I have it in the midheaven, the MC, which is my career, which is my status, which is the way I'm seen. All of that is the highest point in the chart, the MC, the midheaven. And it comes together with Jupiter, you know, with the 10th house of career and recognition. So personally, I haven't been recognized. You know, I've had a lot of hurdles. I've had a lot of challenges in that area. A lot of it also could be because Saturn has been conjuncting it as well. And those that know how Saturn works, the planet of Saturn, it can be very harsh. You know, it can bring lessons and growth, and it asks you to hustle. You know, it wants you to hustle hard. And but there's, the way I see it is, if some things are not working, then you got to be able to release what is not working. And so, you know, there's things in my career that have not worked, and it's okay. You know, you can try something, and if it doesn't work, you can try something else, and you can try something else until something sticks, you know, and something that is aligned with you. So, for instance, I had created a podcast during the COVID pandemic, and I called it Not the Whole Enchilada. And I was just trying to be funny, trying to just be funny and connect with people and so forth. We were having a really bad time during lockdown, and I also wanted to get people to talk about the podcast, like what, and I did get um, what I wanted out of it as far as like people like you know kind of questioning, you know, what do you mean not the whole enchilada and stuff like that? You know what I mean? And rebellion, being rebellious against the podcast. Actually, George Lopez, he named one of his Netflix. He said, I think he labeled it something about, or he named it something about. We'll give you that and more, or something like that. And I knew it had to do something to do with, my podcast, because I said not the whole enchilada, right? And he was like, "What do you mean not the whole enchilada?" You know what I mean? Like, oh, we'll give you that and more. So he had the idea to do something on Netflix. I was like, whatever, like I thought it was funny. Um, but so it was catching that type of attention, and then it caught a lot of millennials' attention too. And then I even seen in the news in Univision where they were like, "Oh my God, these kids are so hungry, and if we can only give them some enchiladas, and stuff like that." And I was like, "Oh my God!" Like I was just like watching the news, and I was like, "There's like," and I knew it was catching attention, right? And so there was like a lot of signs like that, and so I could have kept going, but there was times that I had creative writer's block, and I ran out of ideas of what to talk about. I was talking a lot about branding and marketing, but I think I was sharing a lot of tips that are very, it's a lot of information, like in branding and marketing, that I was not getting. Um, it's information that should be charged a lot of money, put it that way. You know what I mean? And so by me talking it on the podcast, it was like I was not getting my worth for what I was putting out there. I mean, I was only getting like, pennies and per clicks. And it was just, my information, in other words, was too valuable for the penny clicks I was getting. You know what I mean? And I did get countries that were looking at me and this, but it was not enough. You know what I mean? It just was not enough. And I ran out of ideas, and I was like, okay, I've talked already about this, I talked about that, and this and this. And I didn't want people to just steal those ideas and go out there, and I'm not getting paid much at all. You know what I mean? And I wasn't really getting donations, and it was not in alignment. It was like my information was too valuable for a couple of penny a clicks. You know what I mean? It wasn't the right platform for me to share that type of information, right? And so I just I wasn't motivated, and I knew that I had to end not the whole enchilada. I knew that, and it was such a bummer because I even had bought me a hat that said not the whole enchilada. I wanted to trend like the hashtag. I had all kinds of creative ideas to do with it. But, if I run out of ideas and I don't know what to talk about and this, I knew in my heart that it was not in alignment, you know? And I was starting to talk about things that were happening in my life, and I didn't want it to go there. You know what I mean? I didn't want people to talk about my life. I didn't want people to. Um, I was expressing myself, I guess, on the podcast, and that was not the purpose of it. You know what I mean? And so, like again, not the whole enchilada is not mentioning everything, but not the whole enchilada started because people wanted to know a lot of information, but they wanted it for free. And not the whole enchilada came up because I was like, well, if you want the whole enchilada, you got to pay. You know what I mean? It's not going to be free. Nothing in this world is free. I got to pay bills. You know what I mean? I want to travel. I want to buy me a car. I want to do all kinds of stuff, and giving it all for free is not going to be. I'm never ever going to get that stuff, right? And so, um, so so that was my story, and I said, and I knew in my heart that I needed to end it, but I just couldn't do it for some reason. I don't know what happened. I just couldn't do it. And then finally, the strawberry moon came in, which was the Sagittarius full moon. And it came in my ninth house of marketing, of countries, you know, um, as the Pisces, all Pisces, with the strawberry full moon in Sagittarius, it was about the ninth house. And so it was transiting the ninth house. And so it was a time of investing. It was a time of letting go of something that just wasn't working. And I knew at that time that I had to let it go. I was like, okay, this is a time to let it go. This is a time to say goodbye to my podcast. This is a time, because by saying goodbye to the podcast, I'm no longer going to be talking about issues in my life, of, stalking issues and certain people that, you know, need to go. You know what I mean? Like that I can't have in my life, that hold me back, you know? And so I needed to do the right thing and I needed to end the podcast. And so that is what happened during the strawberry full moon in Sagittarius. And it was in perfect alignment. And so I gave it up. But now I'm looking at here at the chart and I notice here that the moon here in Aquarius, which rules technology, which rules social media, it's at 19 degrees of justice. So there is something going on with social media, right? That has been, I don't know, to me, when I see 19 degrees, I see it as something that needs to be made right, something that has not been, it could be something illegal, it could be like copyrights, it could be, because 19 rules courts, judges, attorneys, lawsuits, something to do with technology. And what it's saying is something to release, so something brand new can come in, right? However, it's making a challenge here with Taurus, which, we know Taurus, the sign of Taurus is a bull, right? And Taurus rules territorial. Taurus rules, as you can tell, my hair, I look very Taurus. This is not my real hair, but you know what I mean? I have a lot of Taurus right now, in my progress chart. But, it's there's a lot of Taurus here. There's a stellium here in Taurus, Mars, Uranus, and the North Node. Okay, so we got Mars and Uranus in the fourth house of real estate, and we got the North Node in the house of communication at 17 degrees of royalty. It's interesting that I'm looking at this because I didn't even think about it before, but the North Node is at 17, right, in the third house of communication, and it's coming together. It's conjuncting my ascendant at Taurus 17. Wow, that's interesting. So there is something about my path and the North Node here that is coming exactly at 17 degrees of Leo, which rules, royalty, kings and queens, leadership. Um, it rules lion things, entertainment, fame, the spotlight, all of that, right? And it's in the extreme North Node. That's the path that we're all heading in. That's the train that we go in, that we're just moving forward. That's what it's for people that need to jump on that train, right? Because the South Node is what our comfort zones is in the South Node. But it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to completely leave the south node. The south node complements the north node, but we should be on the north node, not on the south node. Um, the south node is also at 17 degrees, and it's also squaring this full moon. So this full moon is squaring Scorpio and is squaring Taurus, the north and the south node. And I do want to talk on the good aspects here. I do see there's a trine between the full moon in Aquarius and Zeus in Libra at 21. So, in the ninth house too of marketing, countries, this is leadership. So there's something that we're having to let go. And I do believe it's a trine, yeah. There's something that we have to let go. Something that's being released with the full moons, or something brand new can come in with new leadership. So we got that, and we got Pallas in Gemini as well, and it's also making a trine to Pallas. And Pallas in Gemini is strategic, and it's in the fifth house of creativity. So that's another great aspect there. Let me see here. No, hang on. No, where did I go? No, where did I go? Hang on. Okay. So that's that with the moon, with the full moon in Aquarius. If you can notice here, there's a square here. Okay, this is a grand trine that I was talking about earlier, between the first house, the fourth house, the seventh house, and the 10th house. And so they all square each other here, okay, at 90 degrees. Each angle is 90 degrees, and it's a grand square where it brings challenges in every area of our lives in fixed signs. So this would be a fixed, a stubborn. I actually wrote here. It's a rare grand cross in the sky, and so and it's a stubborn aspect. It's a stubborn aspect in fixed signs. So it's about having difficult times, and between changing our minds, and once our minds are made up, then we can overcome that square. So we got to be more open, we got to be more flexible, or we're going to be pushed to grow into the future in very unpredictable ways. So it's either you do it or you get pushed into it, because it involves Uranus. Yeah, it involves Uranus. So it's kind of go big or go home, and this is a time that, you got to be able to put yourself out there and be awake and be ready for whatever's going to come in. This full moon, usually they last until the next new moon, so it's about a couple of weeks. Sometimes it'll take about 3 weeks or so. So we are going into this energy. Even after the full moon, don't think that it's gone. The energy still continues for another like 3 weeks. So if you don't see anything happening during the full moon, when we have to release things, you have like a full 3 weeks to release things, and I don't know about everybody, but it feels good to release things. Like I had mentioned today, I cleaned my bedroom. I've been wanting to clean under my bed, because I have a lot of boxes underneath, and just things that I don't need. There was like this old piano that I had there, like this organ piano. I don't know what it was doing down there. I guess my dad's always collecting pianos and stuff, and there was no room, so I put it under my bed. And then I had like mirrors under there. I don't know what I had in there, so I had to clean it up real good. My mom helped me to kind of lift the bed, and I was vacuuming, and I don't know. I made space, so now it feels really, really like clean, and I put some like rose powder on there, and I vacuumed on there, and it smells good. And I don't know. I just, it. I feel really like clean, and I needed to do it, but it was so weird that tomorrow is the full moon, and this just this was in alignment. It was like, oh, just clean underneath your bed and stuff like that. Kind of when I think about like underneath the bed or something, I think about 12th house stuff. You know what I mean? And so, I as a Pisces, we're transiting Saturn in Aquarius in our 12th house. So that could be some 12th house stuff. You know what I mean? Of cleaning and stuff like that. And Saturn is going to come together with the full moon. So I do feel also Saturn tells us to clean up. To clean up, anything that like maybe laundry or your house or whatever it is. Like I said, it depends where you have Aquarius. For those that have fourth house in Aquarius, well, it's a good time to be cleaning up your house, cleaning up your yard, cleaning up, your body, doing cleansings, like I said, for me, it's in my career. So in my 10th house, and also as a Pisces in the 12th house of like hidden things and underneath the bed and whatever it is, right? But also your natal chart also matters. So I have it in the 10th house where I was born in with Aquarius, and it's something about a career. So I'm starting off with like reading charts and stuff like that, and that's something that's exciting for me, and that's something that gives me something to talk about. And I'm on this path that is in alignment with me. I'm very happy with what I'm doing. I make other people happy as well, and I'm not just always giving them, sugarcoating them with good stuff or good ideas or whatever. I tell them like what I see. You know what I mean? Sometimes, I see some charts and they could be very serial killer charts, and there's other charts that they can have like the fame factor. There's other charts that they were known to be a leader, they were known to make a difference in the world, um, that kind of stuff. Like my chart is very fame. It is very like fame and leadership, and business type and stuff like that. Um, thank God it's not a serial killer, you know what I mean? But there are charts like that, but it doesn't mean that you can become a serial killer, but most likely the DNA is there. So it's for those that don't know, that are not aware, they could become one, But this is why you need to be aware, because you can change it. Everything is changeable. So you just need to know where it's at and stuff like that. But I'm very happy with what I'm doing with the charts. So it's something brand new for me. So I'm no longer doing the podcast, and I am going to continue podcasting, but it's going to be with astrology. So what I want to do is, my intention is to be doing like really quick mini podcast every single day if I can. I may miss some days only because um, things come up and stuff, but if it's something important that I need to put out there, I'm gonna speak about it in my podcast. And they're not gonna be long podcasts like I was doing the other ones. These are just gonna be kind of mini. I think the most is probably gonna be half an hour, and it's just gonna be about what I see, throughout the day. And of course, it switches up, within the hours. But I want to do it early in the morning. That way, people can kind of get an idea and kind of plan their life um, or plan their day, not their life, but plan their day according to, the podcast or whatever, and then just give some advice there as far as, maybe some, you know, dive in some marketing advice or some branding advice, or not try to give too many ideas, you know what I mean? Because I know a lot of people can use it for evil. That is not why I'm doing this. I'm only going to be focused. The thing is, I'm truthful, you know what I mean? I don't just sugarcoat things. I don't just say, oh, we're going to have such a perfect day, you know what I mean? Like, it's like the Weather Channel, you know what I mean? It tells you when you're going to have fog, when it's going to rain, when there's going to be thunder, when it's going to be sunny. And so I'm a truthful and honest person, and I put it out there, but I am not going to be giving too many ideas. Um, I'm not going there. You know what I mean? I am not going to be responsible for other people's irresponsibility and actions that they put out there to hurt others. I will not be part of that. Okay? So I just want to put that out there. And they're just going to be little mini podcasts that I'm going to do every day. I'm always going to have something to talk about. So I am not going to have a creative block. So there's always going to be something to talk about, because I could just wake up in the morning, open the chart for the day, and be like, oh, we're having this kind of day, da 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 da, and then do a podcast on it. You know what I mean? And if you want to listen to it, like if you go to school, if you're in high school, junior high, whatever, and you're into astrology and you're a young student, you can listen to the podcast and you can see what kind of day you're kind of expecting to have in the early in the morning and stuff like that, and plan your day. You know what I mean? And yeah, so and like I said, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If I see something, I'm going to be, hey, watch out for this. You know what I mean? Or if I see something that, oh, today's a great day for this, you know what I mean? So that is my intention. What I plan to do with the podcast every single day, and they're going to be just mini ones. They're not going to be long ones, so I'm not going to get tired of doing this and stuff, because this is my passion. I love talking about astrology. I think it's is the most fascinating thing that I've ever mastered, because I love psychology. Okay, I was a born psychologist. Okay, I have my moon and Pluto and Libra conjuncting together, and some people call it obsession, and it could be obsession. But I'm obsessed over psychology. I'm obsessed over the mind. I'm obsessed over the fact that I can discern, and I can see right deep, you know. And plus I have Pallas in Scorpio, which is somebody that is very psychological and kind of looks under the rocks and everything, and I read an article that said if you have Pallas Athena in Scorpio, you're the type of person that you would work like for FBI, CIA. You would you're the type of person that you won't stop until you turn every rock, right? So you're the one that never leaves early. You're the one that leaves late at the office, and you won't leave until every stone is turned. And so that's Pallas in Scorpio, and so I have that in the seventh house of relationships. So that's exactly who I am. I had an example that I worked at a corporate position in Long Beach, and we had to stay there until we kind of fixed some situation with it was with U.S. officials, right, customs officials, and I could have went. They say, you know what, if you're tired, you can go, and we'll try to fix it and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, no, no. You know what? I'll stay until we'll I'll stay until this is fixed. I don't want to give it to anybody else. I because all we had to do was just wait. Wait for an answer, and we just kept checking on the computer and stuff like that. And it was my account, so I wasn't going to give it to anybody else. And I was like, no, I'll stay as long as necessary. I don't have children. I'm not married, or nothing like that. Plus, I don't live far. At that time, I lived no, I lived in San Pedro. I think I did live in San Pedro. Um, was it San Pedro? I don't remember if it was San Pedro or Wilmington, but it wasn't far from Long Beach. And so it didn't matter to me, and I just wanted to get it over with. And I said, I'm going to stay here as long as I can, until we get that email, and then we're good. And I did finally get that email, and it was a couple hours later, but I think that was the latest I ever left the office. And but it was worth it. You know what I mean? Because I didn't have to worry about it. Because I knew if I would have went home, I probably wouldn't have slept. Because I would have been thinking, like, I wonder what happened. I wonder, did they send the email? Did they do this? And so I'm just that type of person. I'm a very responsible person. And so that was just another story of mine from the past of what Pallas Athena would be in Scorpio. Um, so I am looking at the grand square here. This is a challenge of not to be stubborn, be flexible, be open minded, because something is going to arise in Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, and Scorpio. So you got to be ready if something unexpected happens, because we're dealing here with Uranus, we're dealing with Mars, which is fire, which is fireworks, it's explosions. When you got Mars and Uranus together, oh my God. I mean, you know, it can be, I'm not trying to put ideas, but it could be explosions of some sort. And Leo here, we have it at 19 degrees. Also, the sun in Leo, we have it at 19 degrees of justice, of courts. And I heard earlier something about lawsuits. Maybe we're going to start hearing a lot about lawsuits happening. And then this is the South Node here in Scorpio, in recognition. What I see is real estate, judges and courts, and the past, something to do with the past. I feel a lot of things going on with real estate. I think people need more help in real estate. I think the rentals are too high. I think they need to lower the rentals, because as it is, the gas is really high, right? But people need to get to work. But the rent, especially in Los Angeles, is super high, you know, and it's insane, because the gas is high. You go to work, you try to find a good job that's going to pay for your rent, and then the rent is super high. I mean, everything's high because of inflation, the food, the rent, everything. But there's something that's telling me here about real estate. It might be something to do. Well, I don't see anything with the eighth house. No, well, because I was thinking taxes and stuff like that, that were just something involving taxes. But we got Virgo in the eighth house, so that has nothing to do with that. But fourth house is real estate issues. Um, Something is being released, and we got to be ready when it happens. You just got to stay ready. I mean, you know what I'm noticing here? There's a triangle here. So yeah, there's is it an air? Yeah, air. Yeah, there's an air trine here. There's an air trine. Wow. You see this triangle right here? They're trining besides the square, but it's in air. So we have the full moon here in Aquarius, and then we have Zeus in the ninth house, and then we got Pallas in the fifth house. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm trying to see anything else here. Um, I think the most important things here is Mars and Aquarius. Mars and Uranus is very important to look at that. There's something that's being released. Uranus is the shocker. Uranus is a shocker. Mars is it goes to war. Um, and where's Capricorn at? Okay, there it goes. Yeah, there's Okay, let's see. Hang on 1 second. Where'd it go? Okay. We have Mars. Yeah, it's making a trine to Pluto. So Mars trine Pluto is interesting. There's something about action, and there's also something about endings and transformation. Retrograde regarding wow, it's in the 12th house of secrets. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Something hidden with real estate. Wow. 26 degrees of banks. It's a Taurus degree. Wow. So, something hidden with real estate. Mysterious real estate. Oil? Are they gonna find oil or something? Wow. Maybe we'll find out something about that. Maybe something's gonna come up. And maybe that's what something that the full moon in Aquarius is going to, because it's challenging the real estate. And the sun in Leo also is challenging the real estate in Taurus, which is making a harmonious trine with Pluto in something that's hidden. Oh man. Okay, well, that's that. Um, Okay, we have Jupiter here, but it's not really doing much. I don't know. I just really wanted to focus on the grand square here, because that's what the challenges. That's what we have to look at, um, and just have faith, and just know that whatever you go through when it comes to a challenge, it's a lesson for you to grow from it. And because if we don't have challenges, how are we going to grow? I can tell you that the reason I've grown a lot is because I've had a lot of challenges. I've had more failures than wins, and I'm glad, because had I not had those failures, I would not think how I think. I would not feel more courageous, more brave, because now my thinking is like, I've been through so much that I'm like, nothing's new for me. You know what I mean? Like if something comes up, I'm like, okay, well, to me it's like whatever, it not whatever, but kind of like, okay, I'll deal with it, but no big deal. You know what I mean? Like it's not really a big deal. Like been there, done that kind of stuff. Like okay, this is just another problem that I got to deal with. You know what I mean? And I think what happens is that when you're accustomed to having so many challenges in life, people putting those challenges in your life too, but you having to heal that from the past, because how do you heal it? You will not come up with these challenges. these people will not enter your life, right? And you got to learn from every person that enters your life. There's a lesson to be learned. A lot of these people are karmic, right? And so we learn more from our challenges than what's in harmony, you know. And so that's all I can say, you know. Just got to roll with the punches, and you got to stay strong and um, stay positive, because I do see Neptune here in Pisces at a 24 degree of prophecy. So let me see what um, we have. Oh shoot, where did it go? Hang on. There we go. Okay, so look, we look here at Neptune and Pisces, and it's at a 24 degree of prophecy, and it's making a trine here to is making a trine here to the 29 degree here in part of fortune. Oh wow, that's great. That is really great there. And it's making a sextile to Pluto and Capricorn in the 12th house of secrets. So where is Neptune and Pisces at the time of the full moon? It's in the second house of money. So there's something to do with money, and in Neptune and Pisces at a prophecy degree. The second house rules banks. The second house rules money, assets, food. But it usually it rules money. Okay, it's a Taurus house, and it's making a opportunity with a sextile opportunist with Capricorn and Pluto retrograde. It's something quiet. It's in the 12th house. It's something quiet. So I would see it as a hush hush, kind of like if you get some money, don't tell everybody. You know what I mean? Keep it quiet. Keep it on the down low. There's going to be some certain people that they have to be quiet about some money that they're getting. And is also making a trine here with the part of fortune in Cancer at a very last degree of Leo in the 6th house of your current environment. So this is Cancer rules families, and that's where part of fortune is at. And it's making a harmony trine with Neptune and Pisces at a prophecy degree. So there we go. That's fortune in your local environment, the 6th house, in your health house, right? In your work area. And it's also making a sextile here to Mars and Taurus. So the Neptune and Pisces is making really, really great aspects with fortune, with Pluto, with Mars, with especially here Neptune and Pisces at a prophecy degree is making a opportunity with the 4th house of real estate in Mars and Taurus. It's saying, hey Taurus, I got money. Like, what are you selling over there? Are you selling a house? I got the money you need. Let's go buy that. Let's go make that deal. Let's go buy that house. So that I see a lot of Hispanic DNA here. We're talking about the fish, and we're talking about the bull, and we're talking about the goat over here with Pluto Capricorn. And we're talking, look at all these animals. So we got the goat, we got the fish, we got the bull, and we got the crab. That's funny. A bunch of animals here. And they all get along. All these animals get along. The goat, the fish, the bull, and the crab, they all get along. Isn't that funny? So that's all I can say about that. Okay, well, I'm just gonna let it go here, and so the main point here is that we are releasing things that no longer work. We are releasing this control, and I have a feeling it has to do with real estate. And this has to do with like leaders and that are in charge. You know what I mean? Um, of the wealth of other people. That would be eighth house stuff, but you know, we're talking about relationships here, relationships that have high status, and there's something that major decisions need to be made with real estate, with the living of people and communities. And we got part of fortune in Cancer. What does Cancer rule? Families. In current environment, in the sixth house of local environments. Okay. And the good thing is that it's not conjuncting Hades. It's past Hades already. So Hades is not even together with the part of fortune, which is good. Awesome. So even though there is a release and there is some squares, there's also some really good stuff with Neptune in Pisces at a 24 degree of prophecy. Really, really great aspects with that. So we got to keep the faith. That to me is like Jesus energy. Stay in faith, stay loyal with God, higher power, okay? Because that's how we're going to overcome all this. So I hope you guys are having a great night. It is about 10:12 p.m. right now. Interesting, right? Because 10 is about new beginnings and 12 is about endings. So 10, 12, 2, 3, 4. If you add the numbers, 10, 12, that's 4. A total of 4. What is 4? Stability. And it wasn't planned for me to end it at 10:12. I have nothing else really to say. Yeah, there's nothing really much to say. Just stay woke. Stay woke with whatever happens, especially because Uranus in the fourth house of real estate, Uranus in your hometown, Uranus in your homeland, or wherever you come from. Just stay ready for whatever Uranus brings in. It's going to bring change. So be ready for that change. Talk to you guys later. Bye.